You know that feeling? You wake up before your feet even hit the floor, and you already feel heavy. Not sick, not sad, just heavy. Like something invisible has been pressing on your chest for years. Something you've carried so long, you forgot it was even there. Well, that weight has a source. 7 sources, actually, and I'm about to name every single one. Here are 7 things that are stealing your time after 50 and the clarity to finally let them go. Tell me in the comments which one hits you the hardest. 1. Competing with other people. They raised you in competition mode. Grades, careers, promotions, everything was a scoreboard. But here's what nobody told you. The scoreboard was turned off years ago, and you're the only one still counting. You see someone your age get promoted, buy a bigger house, post about their perfect retirement plan, and suddenly you feel behind. But ask yourself, do you even want what they have? Most of the time the answer is no. You're just competing because they trained you to. Focus instead on competing with your past self. Measure progress by how aligned your life feels, not how impressive it looks. Because if you're more grounded, more at peace, more yourself than 5 years ago, congratulations, you're winning in ways most people will never understand. 2. Tying your identity to your career. For years, your job title was shorthand for who you were, your worth, your status. Now you're retired or thinking about it, and someone asks, "What do you do?" And you freeze. That's title vertigo, the disorientation of not knowing who you are without a label. They needed you to believe your job was your identity, made you easier to manage. But your career was never the whole story. It was one chapter. Focus on who you are when the laptop is closed, when nobody's paying you. The second chapter isn't about climbing higher, it's about going deeper. Now, those first 2 are psychological traps, but this next one? It's a time trap, and it's been robbing you for decades. 3. Forcing yourself to finish things that aren't serving you. They told you quitting is failure. Finish what you start. Don't be a quitter. So you force yourself through books you're not enjoying, shows that lost you 3 episodes ago, projects that stop mattering halfway through. You waste months on things that add nothing to your life, just so you can say you finished, but after 50, you realize your time is finite. Really finite. Spending it on mediocre experiences to avoid being called a quitter is one of the worst trades you can make. So give yourself permission to stop, because here's the truth they hid from you. Finishing something mediocre doesn't make you disciplined. It just makes you stubborn. 4. Doing things because you think you're supposed to. How much of your life is spent doing things out of obligation? Another family gathering you dreaded, another committee you joined out of guilt, another favor for someone who never returns one. There's a difference between genuine kindness and people-pleasing. One comes from choice, the other comes from fear. They taught you that boundaries make you selfish, that good people never say no, but that was always a lie. Give from choice, not fear, because when you give from choice, you actually have something left to give. 5. Needing to be right. Arguing endlessly is one of the biggest energy drains that exists. Most people aren't looking for truth, they're looking to win. They want you sucked into that game, debating strangers, wasting hours trying to convince people who already made up their minds. It's a trap. The only way to win is to stop playing, so learn to say, "You might be right," or just say nothing, move on. The moment you stop needing the last word, you reclaim your sanity. Everything so far has been about what you do, but these next 2, they're about who you allow into your life. This is where most people over 50 lose the most energy. 6. Tolerating energy vampires. You know exactly who I'm talking about. People who only call when they need something. Friends who turn every conversation back to themselves. Acquaintances who leave you drained every time. They're not bad people, they're just expensive. And after 50, you can't afford them anymore. They taught you loyalty means always being available. But that's not loyalty. That's self-abandonment. Invest in relationships that are reciprocal, where you feel seen and energized, not drained. Because it's not cruel to create distance from people who consistently drain you. It's survival. 7. Expecting people to be different than they are. This is one of the last illusions to fall away in midlife. The belief that people will become who you wish they were, but they won't. Your friend who's always late will be late next time. Your sister who flakes will keep flaking. Your partner who's never been emotionally open isn't going to transform because you explained it better. When someone shows you who they are repeatedly, believe them. There's a difference between having standards and accumulating hope debt, expecting someone to change despite consistent evidence they won't. Every disappointment charges interest, and eventually, it bankrupts your peace. So accept reality without bitterness. See people as they are, not as you hope they'll become, because that's where peace begins. Not in changing them, in reclaiming your clarity. Here's what I need you to understand. Everything I described, the competition, the identity traps, the guilt, the draining relationships, none of it was your fault. They installed those programs before you could question them. They built the scoreboards and said, run. They told you quitting makes you weak, boundaries make you selfish, and good people drain themselves dry for anyone who asks. And you believed them because everyone did, because nobody told you there was another way. So if you're tired, if you've spent decades running a race you never signed up for, if you've been giving to people who never gave back, I need you to hear this. You are not broken. You were never behind. You were never the problem. You were just playing by rules that were rigged from the start. But here's what they never wanted you to reach. You can stop right now. Not when you've earned it, not when someone gives you permission. Now. Because the moment you stop playing their game, you've already won. Which of these 7 hit you the hardest? I know someone else in the comments is dealing with the exact same thing, and your words might help them realize they're not alone. So drop it below. I read every one. If this gave you even 5 minutes of clarity, hit like. Subscribe if you're not already. I make these for people who are done living by everyone else's rules. Appreciate you. Have a good one.